Hi everyone, and welcome to Stef Talks Trash. In this special episode, I'm zeroing in on zero waste events with Sofi Armenakian, the Director of Operations and Sustainability for the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena. The Hawks' partnership with Rubicon allowed the organization to host the first ever zero waste NBA All-Star Game. The 2021 All-Star Game marked the 70th event, which normally is a weekend, but placed all four events into one single day. During the event, the Hawks and State Farm Arena successfully diverted 97% of fan-generated waste. I'll be speaking with Sofi about the planning process, about the challenges along the way, and about the Hawks and State Farm Arena's future sustainability efforts. Enjoy the show! So today we're going to talk about the zero waste efforts of State Farm Arena and the Atlanta Hawks and the use of Rubicon as a technology. So can you please start by explaining a little bit about your background in sustainability and zero waste efforts?
So prior to joining with the Hawks, I was with the Atlanta Falcons and United at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and helped put together our zero waste program there. And prior to that, I worked with a consulting firm that was focused on data-driven sustainability solutions. So more on the aspect of energy conservation, and then gradually that shifted into the sports and sustainability world, where there's so much opportunity within this world, and it's so influential. And so that's kind of how I ended up here, and I've been with the Hawks for a year and 2 months now.
When did zero waste planning begin, and how long did it take to get this plan in place?
I think planning began before, because your supply chain plays a big part, and our F&B partners, Levy Restaurants, does an incredible job with procuring items that actually are compostable and can be diverted from landfill. So having your supply chain in place is key. The reason why we decided to go after the All-Star, and to answer your question, when did we know? We knew we'd made it when we got the data back. After actually sorting through everything. But the supply chain played an incredible role in enabling us to do that. Because even if you spend hundreds of hours sorting through your materials, if at the end of the day your pile of non-divertibles is much larger and has no way to be diverted from landfill, you still will not achieve. So supply chain played a really important role in us being able to do that, and planning has always been in place, but it was really nice to pick All-Star as a game, and it was the first one ever, so that was really nice to sort of set this new standard that we're going to keep up with for the rest of our season, as well as any other shows that we have.
What kind of manpower was needed to take this event to zero waste?
There's everybody. It really does. It requires everyone to work together, whether it's a lot of training and awareness, and also setting the table, ensuring that once you understand how a space is being used, what the operations are, and understanding what's being generated, and at one point will someone try to throw it away, to ensuring you have the appropriate containers set up, and that's kind of goes back to setting the table, to having labels to help identify what goes where, and then you still go through and you kind of skim through your materials to ensure anything that ended up in there that shouldn't be, before it's being put into a compactor and hauled away to get weighted, and then that data allows you to calculate if you were able to achieve over 90%.
What specific types of waste were problematic, and how did you divert them?
So typically styrofoam is not something you can think of as something that can be diverted, but working with our partners at CHARM, which is Center for Hard to Recycle Materials here in Atlanta, they actually take clean styrofoam and are able to upcycle it where it gets sent to Dow Chemical and it's being utilized for insulation. So having those partners in place for resources was really helpful. But the good thing is, again, our supply chain was pretty clean. So zip ties, which we found a solution for that, and those had to get used in order to adhere to the social distancing of zip tying seats to allow people to sit apart from one another. Plastic film, so trash bags that you typically wouldn't think about recycling, but having someone that can take that. Once you collect something in bulk, it becomes a commodity. It's not waste, it's a resource. And so we spent a lot of time ensuring that we had those items in place.
Were there any specific challenges when it came to coordinating 4 different events in one day?
I think the 4 events in one day, is no different than having an event that's very long. Because we focused on from doors open to doors closing, everything that was fan generated. And again, it just required teamwork and making sure everybody worked together. We put a plan together and we stuck to the plan until we got our data back to know, what, we actually did it.
Please tell me about the various partnerships that assisted in these zero waste efforts.
So we have our composting partners. We have those who haul glass for us. We have Charm that I already mentioned, and all of our recycling, just to ensure we had good communication in advance for when materials needed to be hauled. You typically want to maximize your haul to ensure you filled up your compactors before it's taken away, so you're not hauling air. But because we needed this data to be very specific, there was really good communication with all of our partners to ensure they knew exactly when to come, pick it up and return and bring it back and provide us the data for us to calculate. So open communication and feedback is really important in making this work.
How did Rubicon help you coordinate these efforts?
We scheduled a lot of our hauls through Rubicon, and so them being timely, and they also provide a dashboard where you can log in to see your data. So those were ways where they were a great partner.
How much waste was diverted from landfills?
97%, which was a lot higher than what I think we're expecting to do. But it's great and something to be super proud of, that it's doable. We can do this again. But yeah, 97% was diverted. And again, that just, I say it a lot because it's true. Our supply chain is clean. It enables us to do so.
Where do you hope to improve these efforts in future events?
Continue making sure that if there is a random thing that ends up in our stream, that we find alternatives for it. Sometimes you think something is compostable because it's being marketed by using the term biodegradable, but biodegradable is used so loosely because essentially everything can biodegrade. Some things may take thousands of years. So just making sure that if there is something that could have been missed is not being missed, and we continue improving. And also with our fans, we want to continue raising awareness with our guests, because we can do so much back of house and what our staff and our team members are prepared to do. But I think there's some opportunity to continue educating our fans so they know the role that they play. And the idea is to really influence them to go home and do things within their own communities, not just while they're inside of our venue.
What's next for the Hawks and State Farm Arena in terms of sustainability?
So our expectations are to go into the second half of the season to operate the same way that we were able to accomplish for the All-Star Game, and apply the same thing to our concerts, comedy shows. Really, anytime there's an event, we apply the same exact process in the way we did it. And I think the All-Star was just a really good example to show to ourselves that, guys, we can do it. We do it for All-Star, we can do it for all the other events.
Thank you once again for joining me for Stef Talks Trash. For this and other episodes, please visit waste360.com. Have a great day.